A mother, that's you, Bonnie. Hello, Bonnie Miller.
Indeed, hello.
A mum says she may have to declare her model son non-binary. Hello, Farouk.
Hi.
Hello. Speak up a bit. Hello, Farouk.
Hi.
That's it. That's Farouk James right over there. Now, Bonnie says she might have to declare Farouk non-binary so he can keep his very famous long locks at secondary school. This is interesting, isn't it? Now, you've got a lot of followers on Instagram, haven't you?
Yeah.
And it's because of this, isn't it? And because you're an interesting person, but it's because of your hair as well?
Yeah. Yeah, correct.
How much looking after does it take?
Couple of minutes.
Is that all it is? I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? Now, do you go on Instagram all the time, and is there always a lot of pictures and stuff of you? Do you like the attention that you get from that?
Yeah, but not the negative attention, because there could be trolls saying rude things about me.
And how do you deal with that? Do you ignore them?
It just goes over my head, really.
It goes over your head. Understood. Now, Bonnie, you would like you would like him to retain his hair, which is beautiful, and you've said here, now it is in the Mail Online that I happen to be reading this copy. You say that the schools that you would like Farouk to attend are being discriminatory. How come? Tell us the story.
Well, they are. Well, more importantly, I would like, obviously, for him to be happy, and that includes him wanting to keep his hair. I've been prepping him to have his hair cut for a couple of years now in anticipation of secondary school. But he's been digging his heels in, and I just thought, generally we will have to cut it for school. It's the norm. I've got an older son. I've been through secondary school before. One of the schools in question, actually, is one of those schools. Mm-hmm. And Farouk has not wanted to cut it. I mean, he's literally been in tears. He's been very upset, and he's said things that are quite troubling to me. Education to me is key, and it's very important, and we're also Christians. But more importantly than education is mental health. So therefore, I've had to question, why do these rules exist? What's it all about? Who created this divide between men and women, and men having to have short hair and not wear skirts anymore, and women have to have long hair and wear high heels in the workplace, and all these other ridiculous rules that I think should generally be scrapped. Bad hair policies, bad dress policies, and especially with hair, because it's his natural, it comes out of his head naturally. It's not manipulated. Nothing's done to it to make it look the way it is. It's just how it is.
So they're saying if Farouk is going to come to our school, he's going to have to cut his hair.
A number 2, or in fact, it cannot be below collar length, or a number 2. And one school in particular were taken to court 2 years ago, and they lost. And they said they were going to change their hair policy. So I became very relaxed and excited that I can definitely get Farouk into that school because we meet the criteria. During coffee mornings in September, parents said, no, they haven't changed it. It's still short hair. So I looked into it, and in fact, it is short hair, but they've added 2 more rules. One is no dreadlocks and no braids. So I looked into mixed schools, and mixed schools have one rule for girls, one for boys. And that's when I came up with the idea, well, maybe I'll just register him non-binary and we'll get around all of that,
Let me just come back to that a second. Farouk, what do you think of this whole argument about you having to have your hair cut to go to school? What do you think?
I think it's just silly and prejudiced.
Really? You want to keep your hair?
Yeah.
All right.
It's just unfair.
Okay. But to declare him non-binary is...
It was an off-the-wall comment, to be fair.
I mean, of course. I mean, that's where the pickup has come from.
It's off-the-wall comment. It's become a bit of a buzzword. But in fact, I think if we all got registered as non-binary, they couldn't put these kind of prejudice rules onto us and pigeonhole men and women. I mean, men can't cry, women. I mean, what is this all about? Who decides what makes a man? Who decides what's feminine? Who decides what's masculine? It's a bit of a grey area, and I think they need to scrap anything that can determine how you should behave and how you should be. I mean, I'm looking at the moment for a pram for him so that he can learn how to be a father. And actually, funny enough, I can even find pink ones for children. What's that all about? Yeah. Well, we can have a pushchair. We can push the push. I've got grandchildren. We can, push.
But okay, let me put it to you this way, because plenty of people will, and you'll have seen all these comments. By the way, it's at LBC. There's a picture of Farouk on there, but it's not a picture of you and I together. It should be you and I together. We'll do that in a minute. It's a remarkable schools have got rules for a reason. It's a bit like saying there is a school uniform. You either accept it or you don't. It's entirely your choice. Doesn't this really begin and end there? I mean, is it fair to be putting an 8-year-old in a situation like this?
I love school uniform, and from what I've been told from one of these heads in particular is that school uniform's there so that you cannot determine who are the have and have-nots. And I don't think that hair actually has anything to do with that. So if you can tell me another reason, or if one of these heads or anyone can come forward and tell us a really good, feasible reason as to why boys cannot have long hair and girls can, I'd like to hear it. And also, in fact, all of the schools we're applying for are Christian schools, and ironically enough, what we see in the image of Jesus is a man with long hair.
Wouldn't be allowed
rest
in.
my case.
So wouldn't be allowed in.
He wouldn't be allowed in, no.
You're not considering any element of this to be racially
Well, one
discriminatory?
school has gone down the racial road when they're talking about particular ethnic hairstyles, which would generally be adopted by children of ethnicity. Not until adults. You wouldn't really see white guys necessarily with dreadlocks and braids.
You could call him a Rastafarian instead of non-binary.
Well, they've said no dreadlocks, so they've already locked that one out. I don't know what they're going to do if a Sikh joins that particular school. Right. Because they've already lost a case based upon religious beliefs, so they then added the 2 extra clauses, which is no dreadlocks, no braids. And the mixed school, I mean, that's just clearly sex discrimination if a girl can have long hair and a boy can't.
Yeah.
So
I never really thought about it. I mean,
no one has, yeah.
No, I've never really. I mean, obviously the sexualization of the young, what you've already talked about, the pink versus the blue, and all that sort of stuff. It just seems to me that if you were if by making this more complicated than it is, by calling him, potentially non-binary. I mean, are we not? I mean, is there no other way out of this? I mean, this attention, studios, lights, questions, media. Are you comfortable putting him in this situation?
Well, in fact, I've looked into non-binary. When I said the off-the-wall comment, I didn't know too much what it meant. I've looked into it, and non-binary is a big umbrella, and it's becoming more inclusive with lots of different definitions, with gender fluidity, people that just don't want to be pigeonholed. But it obviously started with a lot of people that had body dysmorphia, and I don't want to insult them. And in fact, you cannot register as non-binary in the UK legally, so it's not even an option.
He's only 8, right? Farouk, you 8?
Just 8 last month.
Oh, you were only 8 last month. Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, it goes quick though. He'll be 18 tomorrow.
Oh, don't worry about it. I've got a 27 and a 25-year-old. They're still have you?
Yeah.
They're still your babies.
Yeah, 3 grandchildren now.
And they're still. Have you?
Yeah.
That's
So
remarkable.
yeah.
So what are you going to do with why a secondary school now? Normally 11 years old.
Because time goes so quick, and I mean, I'm with parents that are already doing the application and going on the go-sees, and it'll be next September I start the process, and I want legislation to be passed that prevents schools and other institutions from preventing people from being their natural self, as long as it's not a health and safety issue. I don't see why there should be an issue, and I just want I'm going to get lots of parents together. We've got a petition already going. It's at change.org. Sign the petition, please. We've got 100,000 signatures. We can go to Parliament with this, and it's not just for Farouk. It's not just about hair. It's a bigger picture. It's about discrimination in so many different areas of public life. We need to scrap this. We need to be, just accept humans for humans and be individual in a world where we're celebrating individuality, and that needs to be
I came in like I suspect a lot of people. I came into this story thinking, all right, here we go. Here's somebody causing trouble for no good reason. I mean, you will face that though. You'll get that. There's a cynicism that comes from sitting here.
Yeah.
But I'm very impressed with your arguments.
If I was as passionate about these issues as I was about making money, I'd be very rich. This is something that I'm so passionate about. I've had a son who's older, 24. He went to one of these schools. He got in trouble for having hair too short 3 times. The 3rd time they said they're going to exclude him for having number 1. I ran to the shoe shop. I bought some dark brown boot polish, smothered his scalp with it.
What?
Yeah, so that he wouldn't get
Bonnie.
Suspended. This is what happened 10 years ago. So I've been fighting bad hair policies for 10 years, really.
What is it about hair and you?
I don't know.
That's
it's
a
just
good question.
identity. It's identity. And
Really
me,
is.
if I had to cut my hair tomorrow, I would be traumatized. You wouldn't see me. I'd be in my house under my duvet.
Really? All right.
Honestly, women and our hair is so
absolutely.
important to us. And why is it not the same for him?
Farouk, what do you think about the strength of your mummy? Are you impressed with her?
Very impressed. You're not that strong, really.
Oh,
Oh, really? We'll put you to the test later,
We'll see
when we
about
do
that.
some wrestling.
Okay.
And Farouk, actually, you and Farouk used that same hairdresser, or did do, Errol Douglas, so just thought I'd...
I've just had a text from Chris in Essex. Let's have a look. Right, morning, Andrew. Is his hair going to make any difference in his learning? Doubt it. Keep your hair if that's what you want. Good luck. And that's from Chris in Essex. All right? Yeah, you're going
Thanks,
to.
mate, Chris.
All right, yeah.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Chrissy.
You can check him out. LBC. It's at LBC.
Sign the petition.
Oh, yeah, we got
I'll
to
have to
sign the
check him
petition
out.
as well. Bonnie, pleasure to.
Thank
Thank you.
Have-